Hello everybody, my name is Jenny and I have been learning the piano for a little bit more than a year and a half now. In this video, I wanted to quickly share with you a few resources that I use in order to learn the piano. They might be technical resources, how to find repertoire, how do I manage to learn improv and ear training, sight reading resources as well. So stay tuned if you might need a little bit of help in those areas. Just for information, I am learning the piano with a teacher, and I chose to learn the piano sort of in a classical way, meaning I developed my repertoire mainly through the classical genre, and I focus more on technique and sight reading. This does not mean that I don't learn improv as well, and I do have resources that I'm going to list for improvisation and ear training. I'm going to step off to the side here so that I can show you the covers of the books and resources that I'm going to cite. So first off, repertoire. So how do I find pieces, and most importantly, pieces that are adequate for my piano level right now? My main resource right now is pianosyllabus.com. It's a wonderful resource to find classical pieces mainly. Those are usually the pieces that are used for the popular certification boards such as ABRSM or CM and all of those. Honestly, it's very well made. You only have to type maybe like the composer and maybe a grade in order to find something that might be suitable for you. And also, if you find a piece and you might want to play it, you can check also the level on this website, which happens to me a lot. I want to play something and then I realize that it might be a little bit too hard for me right now. So yeah, it's a very useful website for that. Aside from that, finding pieces to me is a game of just digging around on streaming services and on YouTube. I find many pieces like this. I also hang out quite a bit on the piano subreddit. I've had the opportunity to play pieces that are a little bit different and honestly quite underrated. So I really urge you to either go on Piano Syllabus or just go scavenge on your own on the internet to try to find pieces that you might like. You can find most of the pieces that I have learned in my first year of piano on my YouTube channel, so those also might be a great inspiration for level appropriate pieces for somebody who's been playing for a year or two. Now onto technique. Personally, I spend around 15 to 20 minutes a day on technique alone, and it's really essential to me because it's the building block of the pieces that I'm trying to learn and to play, either through my classical repertoire or even in improvisation. My technical exercises or practice is divided into two parts. First, when it comes to scales, I really like the Faber Scales and Chords books. They have different levels. The first one, you start with 5-finger scales, then you move on to one octave scale. And there's also the cadences. There are small challenges and exercises to try to transpose different motifs. It's really well made, and I think that it takes the boring out of the scale exercises just a little bit. Now onto sort of the more generic technical exercises. I will recommend two books. The first one is the Faber Hanan, the Piano Adventure Hanan exercises. I think it's better than the original Urtext full edition because it's just a selected number of exercises. They have preparatory exercises as well, which allow you to really nail down the movements that is asked in the real exercise. And it's quite progressive as well, which I personally believe the original Trini book is not so much. This book also comes with videos, which you can find on the Faber website. The second recommendation, the second book that I really like is Practical Journey, which is edited by Schott. Again, it's a book that's organized in levels. So there's level 1, 2, 3, up to, 5 or 6, something like this. And they picked, journey exercises from different volumes, and they put them together and they kind of reassemble them to make them coherent, not only in level, but also in the technical aspects that you're trying to grind in the different exercises. I really, really, really like this book. I think that the training exercises that they have selected are very musical, and I always have a lot of fun playing through them and learning them. Now on to sight reading. I personally find that sight reading is one of the hardest thing to learn because it is so slow, and I think that it's also because it requires so many different skills. But one way that I have managed to make it quite enjoyable for me is to find resources that I really actually like, and those I'm going to share right now. So the first one, if you are at ground level 0 and you've never read notes and you don't really know, the note values and the different notes on the staff, I recommend 2 apps. The first one is Complete Rhythm Trainer, and the second one is Complete Notes Trainer. I think it's called like that. I'll put it right here. And those 2 will allow you to learn about rhythms and about notes on the staff, on different staff, the grand staff and the treble clef and the bass clef, sorry. You don't have to, I didn't go through all of the different exercises. I didn't complete the applications, but they really did give me a nice introduction to rhythm and notes, which allowed me to leverage that for my first real sight reading exercises. Once you know your note values and your rhythms quite good, I recommend you go to, you move on through to beginner sight reading books. And one that I really, really like is Improve Your Sight Reading Grade 1. It's very basic and it's really progressive. It gives tons of advice. It's quite long as well, so I think it might occupy you for quite a while. It did definitely me. These books are made up in levels as well, so I think there's level 1 through 10, something like this. I personally find that the different books are not like level 1 and level 2 are very different in difficulty. Level 2 and level 3 are very different in difficulty as well. And it's not because you finish one level that you can automatically go through the next level. Another book which I really, really like and I hold super dear to my heart when it comes to sight reading are the Piano Adventures sight reading books. I think that those books are God-sent because they allow you to sight read real pieces that are not just sight reading exercises. There is a difference to me, and they feel very complete. Once you finish an exercise and once you finish a piece, you really feel like you've played something meaningful, and it's quite enjoyable. Again, they're divided in different levels as well, and I found the different levels much more progressive than other sight reading books. Now onto improvisation and ear training. To be 100% honest with you, improv to me is, I haven't found any resource. I haven't found a YouTube video or a book or a website that really allowed me to understand and the different concepts, and more specifically to have beginner level exercises to improvise. So today what I do is I have learned all of my chords, more particularly the ones that make up a cadence, 1, 4, 5. And then I also learned my scales. I have mentioned this a little bit earlier in the video. And I try my best to make a melody out of what I know. I just kind of dabble around. It's quite hard, honestly. I really am struggling to try to find really a systematic method to learn how to improvise. However, for ear training, I do it in 2 different ways. The first way is by listening to a piece of music and copying the melody on the piano. I personally use nursery rhymes or children's songs. Usually they're 5 notes or 6 notes. They do not stray away from the diatonic scale. They're very simple to understand and to replicate on the piano. I personally find them a challenge, and to this day I still use nursery rhymes to train my ear. And then the second way I train my ear is for chords. I use like those systematic ear training videos or exercises that you find online. Trying to hear whether it's a major, minor, augmented, diminished triad, dominant seventh, major seventh, stuff like that. Try to make the difference between the different chords that there are. So yeah, those are the 2 main ways that I learn and that I train my ear. Last but not least, theory. I find that YouTube is very, very well resourced when it comes to theory. There are many sort of beginner theory YouTube videos that show you the different concepts. Personally, I find that analyzing the pieces that I'm learning, so the mainly classical sort of sheet music pieces that I'm learning, really does help to understand the core basic principles of theory. And if I come across a new word, or if I come across a new concept, I can search it up online, and more often than not, somebody has made a very concise video about it. So I really do recommend to analyze the pieces that you're trying to learn, and also leverage YouTube a lot for this, because I find it to be a wonderful resource for this sort of stuff. This is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't hesitate to link down other resources that you might like and that you might have used that I can leverage as well in my own journey. Have a very great rest of your day, and see you later.